Politico has a terrific article about how the Republicans have reacted when challenged by the bank lobby. It's very informative. You really got to give him credit for this. First of all, while I'm giving credit, I'd like to give credit to Dave Camp as well. He's a Republican, and he came up with really good legislation. We talked about it on the show before. It would actually raise taxes on the banks and private equity players. And it's good legislation. And I remember saying at the time, hey, look, man, this is really surprising that a Republican introduced this, but I'll take it. Who cares who gets the credit for it? If you're going in the right direction and saying these guys paying lower taxes than the average American when they're making the most amount of money makes no sense whatsoever. You're absolutely right, especially the private equity guys, that their money is not really investments. It's other people's investments, and they get a compensation for the investments that they make for other people. There's no reason why they should pay the same taxes as people doing the investing, let alone the fact that the investment taxes shouldn't be that low in the first place, right? So congratulations, Dave Camp. And I wondered if it would last. Well, of course it has not. And here comes the fun part. When the banks found out that the Republicans were headed in this direction, they did not take kindly to this. First of all, just in this election cycle so far, and we're just getting warmed up, the banks had already given $3.5 million to the Republicans. In the last election cycle in 2012, they'd given $9.9 million. And now that's just the money we know about. There's a ton of dark money floating around too, but that stuff is public and it's already a ton of money, right? Well, they told the GOP lobbyists, who then told Politico, that if the Republicans do not back down on Dave Camp's proposal to raise taxes on Wall Street, that all big fundraising would be, quote, canceled for the foreseeable future. And this is how politics is played. Now let's see if the Republicans acted in a principled fashion when they heard about this and said, look, that's the right thing to do. We're going to stick with our piece of legislation. How dare you try to corrupt us with your crony capitalism? Or perhaps they did what House Majority Leader Eric Cantor did. He said, oh, the Camp proposal? Who's, quote, merely a draft. Did we say that? Did we say we're going to raise taxes on Wall Street and actually regulate you guys? No, it's merely a draft, that's all. We were kidding around, man. You took that stuff seriously. Texas Representative Roger Williams said, I'm telling my guys, look, we got to win on November 4th, so don't get way out there, okay? This is a work in process. I would just say to those that are frustrated, and I've heard it too, it's a work in process is all it is. It's not a final draft. It's some ideas. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's awesome. So, we didn't mean it, Wall Street. We're so sorry. No, please don't take away our big funding. Please don't do it. But look, it's not just Republicans. I love the end of the Politico article. Richard Hunt, head of the Consumer Bankers Association, says, there's no doubt some champagne corks were unleashed in Democratic circles last night. They got an early election gift. Now think about that for a second, man. Instead of Democrats saying, hey, Dave Camp and the Republicans, way to be on the right side of this issue. We've been saying hold the banks accountable. Look, okay, let's get some bipartisan legislation passed. No, they were popping champagne corks. They're like, oh yes, the banker money's going to come towards us, or at the least be neutralized. It's not going to go towards the Republicans. Yes! Who cares if it passes or doesn't pass? Ha ha, Republicans! You tried to do the right thing once, and look at what happened to you. Pop that champagne. How are you going to get decent legislation passed through this Congress? Look at how unbelievably corrupt it is. The one time that a Republican tries to do the right thing, they lay the hammer down on him. And when asked if the Republicans would actually propose this before the election, they said, in essence, hell no! Hell no, they're not. You kidding me? So it's not going anywhere, and Wall Street's going to win again. And remember, it was Democratic Senator Dick Durbin who said, frankly, the big banks run this place. And that's so true. Until you get money out of politics, this level of corruption is going to continue ad infinitum, ad nauseum. If you're not nauseated already, it's going to keep going and going. And it's not just on the Wall Street issue. It's on every major issue. I can tell you a similar story about our food, our health care. Every single time, well, look, they said that they would cancel the fundraising for the foreseeable future. What could we do? So we did exactly as the donors told us to do. Well, here's what you and I can do. You know it. wolf-pack.com. Enough of running from these guys, man. You got to get in there and meet them head on in the battlefield. If you don't engage this, our democracy is already gone, man, at the national level. If you don't hurry up and help us at the state level, call for a convention to get an amendment to get money out of politics, we've already lost. We're never going to win on any of these issues. You think we're going to have a decent tax system that allows the average man not to be taxed more than the richest guys on Wall Street? We're never going to get that. Never. Look at what just happened. The only way to do it is to get an amendment. Every generation of Americans has gotten an amendment passed except one. That's us. If you don't get up right now, don't come crying 5 years later, 10 years later, oh, boo-hoo, we lost our democracy. I told you right now, we've already lost it on the national level, and we got to do something before we lose it at the state level. And it can be done. We've got legislation introduced in 10 different states. We're coming for them. So are you with us? Can you actually help to save this? Because if you're waiting on politicians to fix it, look at this. They're never going to come. The Republicans aren't going to come. And what has President Obama done to curtail lobbying? Absolutely nothing. It's us or nothing, man. The last great hope is us united together.